When I say that in the Shema Yisrael, translate for me. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. One is somewhat bothersome. One means one and not two, one not four, and not seven. No. One means unique. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is God, the Lord is unique. It's not one in terms of a numerical one. It's one in the core of what one is. God is unique. That is the basic statement of monotheism. God is unlike any other power. Shema Yisrael. Let's go deeper into this. Shema Yisrael. Hashem. The name Hashem, which is used in the Torah in this context. And what I'm saying right now is what should be in your mind when you say this every day. A couple times a day. Hashem is spelled Yud and Hey and Vav and Hey. That spells out the transcendental aspect of God, or which we often call the ineffable name, the name which we're not permitted to pronounce. Shema Yisrael Hashem. Transcendental. What kind of word is that? Transcendental. It means that God who, on His terms, God who is infinite, God, remember in the prayers we say Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh? What does that mean, Kadosh, Kadosh? What does Kadosh mean? What does Kadosh, Kadosh mean? What does Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh mean? What does this mean? What are we saying when we say such things? Holy, holy, holy. That's it. You say holy, God's got a little smile on His face. Holy, holy, you got a bigger smile. Holy, 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 and all the angels start to clap, and God has a big smile on His face. Is that what takes place in heaven?
The right you're rising up each time, getting a high level, which is...
But the core, what does the word holy mean? Different, separate. Holy means, so once, holy, separate. Holy, holy, what does that mean? Separate, separate. Holy, 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 what does that mean? Transcendental. Completely beyond. Completely separate. Completely different. But it's fascinating, because that's the very next line we say, Melocha la'aretz kavodo. God is completely transcendental, yet He fills up the earth. It's a contradiction. But that contradiction is our experience and is our understanding and is our lives. That God at one time is completely transcendental, completely beyond, and at the exact same time God affects our lives. Because one is God on His terms and the other is God on our terms. And we understand it's not a contradiction. It is a complexity, but not a contradiction. It's an enigma. We know at the one time that God is transcendent, God is beyond time and space and matter. At the other hand, we know that God is here among us, and if we only will it, then we can have a relationship with God. And there's nothing more profound in this universe than a person having a relationship with God. And it only happens if we allow it. And again, more often than not, we choose to try to do everything that we could possibly do to avoid it. If it means putting on the television a little louder, putting the stereo on a little louder, picking up, whatever it may be, we do what we can to avoid it. I don't have an explanation for this, except that it's temporary insanity, which takes us through our entire lives. But if a person wills it, a person chooses it, they can have that relationship. So we say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. We're saying that God, Hashem Yud Kei Vav Kei, the transcendental God, Elokeinu. What does Elokeinu mean? Is all powerful, is the creator, the sustainer of the universe. At one time, we're making a declaration that God, who is completely transcendental, holy beyond holy, separate beyond separate, completely transcendental, He is the one who creates and sustains the universe and allows me to have a relationship. That is a contradiction. That's the enigma. But it's still Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. That God is completely transcendental, God is here, and God is one, God is unique. Because what I just now explained is something which is completely unique. And when we say that man is created in the image of God, do you realize then what we're saying? That every single person has to them a part of God and has a uniqueness to them. And a person who denies their uniqueness, and isn't that so much what modern society is about? Our uniqueness is the extent that we try to be like everybody else. And it's not that I'm going to have and talk about fashion and talk about other things. We try to fit in. We try to be like others. There is a time in our lives that everybody, sometimes the teenage years, where a person tries to be different, but they unite themselves in their attempt to be different. And everyone's different in the same sort of way. And then we get a little older, then we completely conform, and then perhaps the British know this better than any other parts of the civilized world. And there's a problem with that, because as we conform, we deny within ourselves, or refuse to look in ourselves for that which is unique. And only once we know that which is unique, we can possibly contribute to the world. Yes, it's quite difficult to. And don't expect me to give you three easy lessons. But because it's so difficult, we refuse to do it. And we sort of just tend to put people in categories, and we label them, and we refuse to go any deeper. We don't feel the need to do it, and we don't feel the need to show anybody what's... People don't have time, that's right. Life is we're doing too many significant things rather than to try to penetrate that which is in somebody else. And by the way, you'll appreciate right now the ability of us loving our neighbors as ourselves, the ability of us to love others is to recognize uniqueness with others. If every single person we met, if we stopped for a second, and even if it were a superficial appreciation that this person has within them something which is absolutely unique that no other human being has. They have abilities, capabilities, ideas, a spirit that nobody else has. If I appreciate them, then how can I not love them? But we refuse to do that. We refuse to pry, we refuse to penetrate, and for ourselves we put off all sorts of facades and refuse to let anybody try to penetrate into our own hearts. Yeah.
What about this uniqueness? Is that negative?
I don't believe that uniqueness could be negative. I believe that people can use it in a negative way, but I don't believe that in its essence it is something which is negative. Correct, but each one of us has to have a separate manifestation of it. So each one, it's a slightly different angle, a slightly different light, slightly different colors within this incredible, hues which exist. But each one is different.
What do you mean by relationship with God?